Hello everybody, this is International Master Otonu and you are watching Life in Chess. In today's edition, we shall continue our theme on attacking the king. The players are Meeson, white, Mueller, black, and this game was played in a correspondence match in 1928. The players are not very well known, but I found the game very instructive, which will demonstrate our theme of the principles of attacking the opponent king. Let us start the game. White played c4. This is called the English opening. The main idea is controlling the centered square and leaving the c file to be occupied by the rook in future. Black played e5, a move which is perhaps the most common reply against c4. White develops his knight, black develops his knight, white brings out his other knight towards the center, black does the same. So both the players have played quite sensibly till now, and the most common move here is white looks forward for development of this bishop. So g3 is considered to be the most popular move in this position. Many players, they continue with e3 with the idea of bringing the f1 bishop. Of course, the moves like d3 and d4 are also good moves in this position. White opted for d4. Nothing wrong with this move, but as I said, most players in this position would prefer to develop the king's bishop and castle as quickly as possible. White played ed4, black played ed4 and white took with the knight. It is here white played bishop to b4. Black develops his pieces quite fast, pinning the knight. White takes knight c6. So this is a point where it seems white is losing some time, because this knight has taken two moves to centralize, and then in one move it exchanges with opponent knight which has played only one move. So in a way, white loses time by capturing the c6 knight with his centralized d4 knight. Black recaptures with the b pawn, and this is very instructive. It is very instructive to note that whenever you have an option of recapturing your opponent piece with a pawn, it is more advisable to recapture with the pawn towards the center. The reason is most of the central squares are controlled by the pawns, and of course this capture, as I said, also opens b file for the rook. Black could have recaptured with d pawn, but in that case white would simply exchange the queens and white would be happier than black in this position. So let's continue with the game. After bc6, white played g3. He wants to bring out his bishop, but after the game we will find out that this pawn has been left unguarded for a long time, and this is the reason why white suffers later. So it would have been more prudent to try to think to develop this bishop via d3 square or e2 square, so that it could leave the c pawn also protected. If white is apprehensive of bishop c3 move, which actually isolates and weakens the pawns on the c line, then white could consider first supporting the knight, idea to recapture with the queen, and then play e3 and bishop e2. Sorry, yeah, e3 or even e4, yeah. But here white played g3. Very small mistakes, but seemingly harmless moves lead to catastrophe in this position. Black plays queen e7, and this is one move which is very instructive in this position because black has an option to play very normal moves like castling, bringing out his rook, and of course he can play bishop a6, bringing out his bishop and attacking the d pawn, or he could develop his rook and occupy an open file. But black aims for queen e7. For me, this is the most difficult move in the whole game to find. The reason is there are so many other normal moves, especially castling. But black plays the best move, that is queen e7. And we shall find out the reason very shortly. After the game, we will revisit this position and then we shall see why queen e7 was such a nice move and how you could find such move if this kind of position appears on the board. White plays bishop g2, develops, and black attacks the c pawn. White cannot defend. The most normal way of defending the pawn would be b3, but as we can see, the c3 knight would be left unguarded, and that is why white chooses to defend queen d3. Well, the other way of defending queen b3 is not such a nice idea because black can either play queen c5 attacking the c4 pawn once again, or he could even opt for d5 attacking the c4 with the bishop, and if white captures cd5, black would deliver a knockout blow in one move, and that is queen e2 check. It is checkmate because the knight on c3 is pinned and white has no other move to play. So queen b3, although it looks fine, doesn't work here. White played queen d3, leaving the option of b3 so that the queen supports the c3 knight when white does play b3. Black immediately attacks the c pawn based on the pin. The bishop on a6 gets activated. White plays b3. Now of course black was threatening bishop c4, so b3 is a normal defense, and now black plays something which is very instructive. I would like all of you to pause the video for some time and find out how you would continue as black. Well, congratulations if you have found out the knockout move, and that is d4. Well, there were other good moves also. Black could have tried something like dc. Black could have simply castled, but the move d4 is the most effective because it makes use of the undefended and the pinned knight here, and basically white wants to remove the queen from defense of this knight. So by playing d4, he forces white to recapture queen d4. Pay attention that white could also play bishop c6 check, but black would move aside king f8, and after that anyway white would have to attend the c3 knight. If white now captures bishop a8, capturing the whole rook, black could capture the knight first and then capture the whole rook. That would leave black one extra knight ahead. So in this game, white captured queen d4. Black played rook d8 attacking the queen. Now the queen has no square left to where it can escape, defending the c3 knight. So in this position, white played bishop c6 check and black king went aside, king f8. Now once again the queen is attacked. It cannot go to any square while defending c3 knight. So white played bishop d5, and here black has multiple ways of winning, but the most effective way and the most beautiful move is rook captures d5. This is another beautiful move based on pin, double pin. The knight of course cannot recapture because the knight is pinned, and you might have seen the pawn can also not recapture because another knockout blow, that is queen e2 check and checkmate. Once again the knight is pinned. So it was a very short game. White resigned over here after rook d5. It was a very short game, only 12 moves deep, but this short game does teach us a very instructive lesson, and that lesson is seemingly harmless developing move sometimes create big problems if we are not careful. So here for instance, white's c4 pawn was left unguarded, and to defend the c4 pawn, white had to make bigger weakness so that he ended up in a mating net. All this could have been avoided had white opted for bishop's development along this diagonal. The next important point where I would like to emphasize is the move queen e7. Now perhaps this is the most important move for which I created this video. Sometimes a normal developing move lets the advantage slip. A strong player, he develops a feel for the position where he finds out that the king is temporarily weak, white's king. Before it escapes, before he gets that one move to escape, I have to attack it in the most efficient manner. And this feel, as we saw, it was the queen which delivered the knockout blow. So it was this feel backed by some foresight and calculation which helped black to find out this beautiful move. So friends, I hope you liked this video. As in life, in chess too, timing is very important. Keep learning. Goodbye.